I thought that maybe it'd be fun to record like me looking for bugs, which is something that I do almost every day. Um, Here, like, I don't know if people are looking for tricks or tips, but I usually have pretty good success. And one of the things I concentrate on are logs. Logs are kind of like towns for bugs. There's almost always multiple ant colonies along with lots of other really cool stuff. And you just have to be able to like pick out one that's kind of worth your time. A really easy way to look or to identify a log that's worth like tearing apart is moss growing on it and bugs on top. Like, see this slug? Slugs can't really exist for long without a humid place to hide. So you don't really want to go through dry logs as much. You want them to be humid. So this looks like a very promising log, and I'm almost sure that there will be ant colonies in here. So we're gonna go ahead and flip it over. And it's really just a matter of finding cool stuff. I got my aspirator right here. I'm already seeing some interesting things, not ants, but a centipede species I like a lot. Um, those guys. I see two of them. These are really cute. He's hanging on. I'm trying to show you the process of aspirating here. It's not the easiest thing to show. Oh, my thing is not tight. Ooh, it looks like there's actually two species here that I'm interested in. So there's three little millipedes. I'm gonna look around. Lots of springtails. Little spider. Some mites, nothing I am too interested in. Lots of springtails. Some beetles. Along with some interesting looking fungal growth. Another spider. I like to collect spiders because they're super diverse. Ooh, big springtail. I like this species. Um, and I think they help add to the biodiversity of like a vivarium. I'm gonna pause this. So I was mainly just probing along the surface. I'm gonna start to pry into the log now. I usually keep this little pocket knife, and then I also have these two things I couldn't recommend enough. This little flashlight. It's rechargeable and it's tiny, so these are my two anting, and then my aspirator and some tubes, and those are my anting staples. So I'm gonna pause this as I go through it because it kind of takes two hands, and I'll come back if I find anything good. Okay, so I've already just immediately found a little looks like a Phytole colony. Um, looks like probably Navigans or something. I'm not gonna bother collecting them because I see these guys every time I go anting. But I mean, this was within a minute, so I could collect this whole colony. I'm sure the queen's in there, and I'm gonna pause again, and if I find anything cool, I'll come back. Nothing too interesting in this one. I'm gonna go ahead and go to another log. Just a couple, it's probably either one big Phytole colony or a couple smaller ones throughout the log. I'm not too interested in them, so I'm gonna move on to something else cool. So I'm just kind of walking around. I'm gonna flip my camera right. Looking for some good logs. Something to also to remember is each log is sort of has multiple or limited number of uses. So you can only tear through a log once, right? And you can only flip them over and disturb them so many times before it's not really suitable. Nothing wants to come back to it for a while. So you kind of have to think about the time of the year, the time of the day. Is this the best time to go through this particular log? I'll often have a few that I kind of have my eye on. Like throughout winter, I'll find them. Like this looks like a pretty interesting spot. There's a big pine down, and then looks like a smaller pine or vine or something. But I'm gonna check some of these out. So sometimes you'll find what you're not looking for. I'm on my own property and I've never seen this. It looks like an old trash dump. Fairly old, probably from like the 80s or something. A lot of glass. And some of this looks actually kind of useful, some of the glass bottles. Never seen this before and I'm back here a lot, but there's several kind of interesting looking bottles. So I'm going to scope these out. Nothing too cool. Oh wow, that's pretty. So sometimes you'll see stuff like there's a natural little terrarium that's formed in here. Definitely going to use this for something. Oops. You'll see this had a pretty big moss garden thing going on. The top is interesting too. I wonder what that used to hold. It's kind of smelly. The reason I think it's older trash is just there's a lot of glass bottles that don't look necessarily medicinal or alcoholic, so probably from the time before plastic was as widespread as it is now, so I don't want to... Plus that can, right? Let's say like 70s or 80s maybe, I don't know. Keep on looking around in here. I don't want to cut my foot. Nothing too cool, just broken glass and shit. Musty water. Keep on looking for stuff. Ooh, this looks like there might be some meat growth in it. Yeah, badge moss. Damn, that's really pretty. I'd have to break it to get it out. I'm going to. I want this. I'm going to put that there. Sometimes they'll have these little ferns growing in them too. Sometimes you'll find just a really stunning little natural terrarium that's sort of grown up in a bottle. Or sometimes you'll just find really nicely grown moss that sort of looks like it's already, because it has been growing in a terrarium. And you can break the bottle and get the moss out and have already sort of like acclimatized, whatever, pre-acclimated moss. I'm gonna end this video. It's getting a little long, but this is what I like to do. I like to walk through the woods and look for cool stuff. You should try it.